Sweet Tea with Coach Key.
Let's just get down to it.
Welcome to Sweet Tea with Coach Key. Coach Key.
Sweet Tea with Coach Key.
Real life stories of inspiration, perseverance, and prosperity.
Turn your radio up as loud as possible.
Sweet Tea with Coach Key.
I hope you have your teacups ready because she has the sugar.
Nothing like a cup of brown sugar to sweeten my day.
Now let's enjoy some Sweet Tea with Coach Key.
Sweet Tea with Coach Key. Welcome to this week's episode. So this week I wanted to talk to you about always wanting or having the urge to say something. When someone comes to you for advice or someone just has something to say, or you see something in public, or you see something on TV, whatever it is, we see something on the news, we always think of a rebuttal, something to say in response to something happening. And especially as it relates to our loved ones, our children, our family members, our friends. Sometimes it is in our best interest to not speak of a thing. Let go of our pride of wanting to speak and set that person straight or help them to see our perspective. I do understand that is the goal in communicating, but sometimes your efforts are not sufficient to have the goal fully followed through, if that makes sense, or to have the goal accomplished. I think that a lot of times we should resort to being humble and meek and allowing God to do the things that we cannot do. I will never forget a situation with my father. This was several years ago, and I really wanted him to understand something that he had did wrong, and more so that I just didn't agree with. It was morally wrong, and I did not agree with it. And I wanted to have a conversation with him about it and just tell him how, I really think you should have made a different choice, and I just really wanted to have a conversation with him, and I didn't. I didn't say a word. And what ended up happening was God came in and he showed him in a way that I could not have showed him. And he has continued to show him and continue to guide him and love him in a graceful, more loving way than I ever could have. That is his child. He's not my child. And even when it is your children, those are still his children. He gave you the privilege of being able to lead and to birth and to guide and to love and to have that person be a part of your family in your life. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, middle of the day, we are all God's children. So in those times when you want to have something to say, when you want to respond with something to say, whether it's negative or positive, I would make sure, total work in progress, of course, but I would make sure that we're being humble in spirit and making sure that our words are led by God and making sure it's just not us wanting to hurry up and get out what we was thinking the whole time the person was talking, and we're trying to tell them what we think and what we know and, what we think they should do and, what this person said and this person and what you heard on this talk show. Or sometimes it's just best to hold your peace. Pray for that person and ask God to show them what it is that he would have them see. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to communicate. The goal is to have a person receive what it is that you're trying to articulate and vice versa. If someone is talking to you, your goal should be to understand, comprehend, receive what it is that they are trying to deliver to you via speech, right? Or text message or email or whatever. That's the goal. So that should be a goal of yours also, not to just hear what they say and get out what you want to get out. The goal should be to properly bounce back. They're talking, you're listening, you're receiving. It's a constant flow, kind of like a seesaw of communicating. And sometimes your communication needs to be heavily with your father about your loved one, as opposed to you immediately powering back saying something that did not serve the conversation or the person in need. Well, or you. Just imagine if I would have taken that turn and said what I was going to say to my father. I would have never saw for the rest of my life how God will come in and he will do what I cannot do. Especially during those times when you don't know what to say. And we just feel like we just have to, this is so prominent. When someone passes away, we want to say something. We want to fill that gap and fill that void and just but sometimes, and trust me, it's nothing wrong with asking God for those rebuttals or for things to say when that time comes. So I don't think it's anything wrong with praying now, that if you come into a situation with somebody in need, whether they're sick, whether they have just lost somebody, whether they experienced a breakup, lost their job, asking God to guide your tongue and give you discernment and when to speak and when not to speak and what to say and what to say and what not to say, that's not something that you have to wait to pray on. You can pray about that right now. So I just encourage you to let your speech and your thoughts and your actions be more spirit-led and less of our flesh leading our conversations with our loved ones. I hope you have a blessed and amazing week. Take care.